Welcome, everybody. It's been a week of Ango, and being up here for a week as Shuso, it's definitely sinking in how incredibly valuable it is to have everyone's participation and the connection of the Sangha. So it feels really good to see everyone here. So on some level, we're all here to find some happiness or some peace. I mean, it's kind of what we're doing all the time in life, trying to be happy, trying to be less stressed, trying to have be more connected, somehow be more okay. Usually looking for that in all the things we do externally. All the activities, whether they're distractions or get-togethers or in the things, getting a nicer bed, maybe we can get more sleep, we'll feel better. All the things we do, on some level, we're trying to be happy. But then we're up here at the Zen Center with a different program because somehow we recognize, well, maybe there's the attitude and what I'm bringing to life, maybe that would be the spot to spend more attention. So turning inwards, right, come to a place like this, to the Zen Center, to learn how maybe we could find some different source of well-being, of peace, somehow wake up to our lives more fully. So then we come here, and the heart of the training is Zazen, meditation, sitting silently, no distractions, externally at least. And then learning how to do something, how to turn inwards, how to have a different way of being or a different relationship with ourselves, or right, somehow turning inwards to find a different source of well-being. And I'll just read a couple of passages of just the basic instructions, what we're doing. So this one is from Teachings of Ajahn Chah, Thai forest monastic teacher. It says, just keep breathing in and out like this. Don't be interested in anything else. It doesn't matter even if someone is standing on their head with their ass in the air. Don't pay any attention. Just stay with the in-breath and the out-breath. Concentrate your awareness on the breath. Just keep doing it. Don't take up anything else. And when I read that, I feel a little uplifted, like, yeah, I could do that. Just do it. Just be with the breath. And then, maybe the mind will settle and become clear and open. So here's another one. It's just a little taste from Patrul Rinpoche, 19th century Tibetan Lama. Different flavor. Practitioners, male and female, who wish to realize the genuine view without mistake, should allow the mind to rest with vivid clarity, in unaltered, empty state of mind. When the mind is still, then settle into that stillness, without trying to alter it in any way. When it is not thinking, settle directly into that non-thinking, without trying to alter it. In short, do not alter the mind, but settle directly within whatever occurs. Again, when I read that, I think, oh, yeah. Just settle in. It's a different flavor, but it's the invitation, practice in a certain way. But it's not that easy. So this is from our theme for the Ango, is the third patriarch of Zen, Sinsin Ming, by Sengsan, third patriarch. And it says, when you try to stop activity to achieve quietude, your very effort fills you with activity. So here you've got the basic instructions, the core of the practice. And then you have this teaching that says, well, your very activity, your very efforts to do that can just fill you with activity. Your efforts to settle can fill you with activity. So why is it so hard to just sit? Why does it take so many hours and years of training, and what is it that makes that so tricky? But in some ways, you read it, it sounds simple. So some of you know I live on a farm about 12 minutes from here, and in the spring, when the grass is growing, we get cows delivered, 40 of them this year. And they stay for about 5 months, and I do rotational grazing with them, which means you put them in these smaller paddocks and move them every few days. The paddocks are with electric fence, little thin string. And the way we move them from paddock to paddock is by going to herd them, and it's with the technique of low-stress stockmanship, which I'm not an expert, but I'll give you a little idea of it, because I was talking about it here a few days ago and people thought it was interesting. So when you go to the cows, you don't just rush into the paddock. You got to go check out what's going on first. So you walk in slowly. You first kind of take a look from a distance, and as you approach, you come in slowly. You might even go to the opposite side of the paddock than the cows are on. And then you see what you got. If the cows are all lazing about, chewing their cud, that's one thing. They might be lying down. If the cows are all on alert with their heads up in a herd, that might be another situation. And then you start to come closer to the cows and figure out, how am I going to get them to move to where I want them to go, to that new paddock where the fresh grass is. And as you come up to the cows, you actually don't walk straight up to them. You walk kind of nearby, and then you start walking kind of diagonally back and forth to approach them, because the cows can get scared. And if they see you looking directly at them and walking straight towards them, it's too intense for them. So they think you're a predator. So you walk sideways and you kind of let them get used to your presence, but you also have to move them. So you're actually coming closer to them so that they feel your presence enough that it has an effect on them. So the problem is, if you come in too fast, the cows get scared and then they run off to the side And then you might think, oh, I gotta hurry up and get these cows. I'm going to run after them and get them to come. You chase them, and then they split into even more directions. And it takes forever. So once you've come in slowly and carefully and you're sort of settled and patient, and you're willing to let this take the time it takes, then the cows start to get up. They still don't know what to do. They're not really sure what's going on. And you start to gently push, like bringing your energy closer to them, bringing your presence. And then they respond. They're not too scared, so they just walk away from you. And then as they start to move, you can kind of get a little more momentum, and you follow them, you walk with them behind them, and you can steer them and guide them. Again, you guide them with your presence. So this obviously is the metaphor that I'm bringing to how do you approach your sitting practice? What do you bring when you first sit down? Do you rush in, ready to stop the mind? Because if you're rushing in with the same energy you've been carrying all day long, it might not work so well for your mind. Right? Is there a way to land with yourself that has the patience, the acceptance, wherever your cows are in the paddock, that's willing to meet the cows where they are? Right? Can you meet your mind where it is? And this is where I think a lot about checking in with the quality of the herder, the quality of the part of the mind that's trying to sit down and meditate. Because if I don't, oftentimes I don't realize that I'm just actually bringing my own anxiety and tension and impatience. I'm bringing my own greed and desire. I want something. I want this to go somewhere. I want to at least get something out of this time. And all those energies just tend to, well, kind of fill the mind with activity. So bringing that sensitivity and care and awareness of what's going on, checking in before diving into some technique or some idea of where you think meditation is going to go or where you want it to go. In a lot of ways, when I think about the Zen Center and what we're doing here, because you could just practice Zazen alone at home, but we don't. We come to the Zen Center, and there's all these forms, and you come here and there's bells ringing, and then you come and you bow as you come through the threshold. And we're all here sitting together. And at first you're just trying to get it right and make sure you don't look silly, because we think like that somehow we're supposed to know even though we've never been here, or we're still getting used to it. But then you see that there's a purpose to it all, is to help prepare the mind, to help bring the mind into the present in a nonverbal way. Right? I might sit down on the cushion and I can kind of give myself my own little pep talk. I can remind myself to settle and be patient. But walking through the door here and bowing, my body reminds itself it's direct. It's the image of devotion without words, just from the heart. And you can feel something. Or it brings an image of this conditioned mind, of all the craziness we carry around, all of our busyness, being ourselves, doing our lives. This part is getting to bow down in front of the Buddha, in front of our innate awakeness. And even if you don't think that, do it over and over. And it's preparing, it's softening, it's helping the mind. And same with being all together. It's so different to feel all of you came today because this is important. This is so important to actually cultivate peace in our hearts, to recognize our minds, a place that's not caught up and afflicted. So instead of having to just remind myself of that, I feel all of you with me, and it brings my heart into that place of determination, of effort, because it's so important. And then later today, we're going down to do the groundbreaking ceremony for the Sanman, which is the temple gate, which looks pretty cool from the pictures I've seen of what it's going to look like. Really big, pretty awesome. But again, what is the purpose of this? Why would you want a big gate? It's not just to have the coolest Zen center. But there's something powerful. It connects to hundreds and hundreds of years of tradition, of Zen centers, of Buddhist centers, of monasteries, thousands of years. Have had places that are set up to help wake up together. A temple gate connects to the tradition. So every time you come, when this gate is here, I imagine it at least, stepping through a threshold. It's a non-verbal, it's beyond our normal mind to go through from the outside to the inside of the temple. And all the beauty and architecture of it, and the craftsmanship and the care and the hundreds of years of tradition that have gone into it being what it looks like, are all aspects of the gravitas, the importance of this endeavor. So you step through and you're with all of that. I'm just touching on these different pieces of how the path, how the practice can bring your heart into the place where it can actually do this. Can it actually follow the breath or rest in peace, where it can actually have a chance to settle and a different way of seeing can emerge. But ultimately, the herder and the cows and the field that we're trying to go to are all just one. And this is where the place in the heart and mind where we can bring the fearful, deluded, craving, caught up, busy mind, we can bring it together with the place in us that isn't, that's open, that's awake, that's aware, that has an open heart. Right? The place where the cows can just be cows, where we can just be ourselves with all the delusion, all the karma, all the conditions, all of whatever it is. To me, this is the heart of the practice where we can meet that, the patient, curious, open place. And actually then that very meeting of our delusion, of our the mind that can be so difficult to be with, when we can actually meet it with love and awareness, is a chance for that mind to unravel, to go its own way, for all those afflictions, the greed, hatred, delusion, to unravel itself in the light of our awareness. And then come to see that's actually the source of our deepest wisdom, is our very struggling, afflicted, confused, battered minds. If we can meet them, we can meet ourselves.